Now, the former president is living with a narcissistic personality disorder. And I'm not joking here, okay? Like I said, I'm not his doctor, but if you want to actually describe someone with narcissism and an antisocial personality disorder, you have to show that they have grandiose feelings. They're preoccupied with their own perception of success, that they demand excessive admiration, that they exploit people, that they lack empathy, that they are arrogant. These are the descriptors from psychiatrists about a narcissistic personality disorder. And that's how you get legislation and policy that leaves people out in the woods. So, people are going to have to decide. President Biden told us today he is running. He is going to be on the ticket. That's it. Okay. Now, if people are worried that he is going to be fatigued in the late evening, that's a concern and they can judge that. But I would rather judge a person on what they are in their core. And this is a decent person versus, in my opinion, with former President Trump, someone who doesn't have empathy for people.
I'm with you. You got an old man versus a bad man. Two bad choices, Gov, and that is shame on the party system as far as I'm concerned. But look, here's the real question, okay, in terms of the analysis, and then we'll go to what you think the realities are. The concern is not that he has a bad night on the debate stage. It's not that he's a lousy debater. It's that he won't make it 4 more years. And you're going to get stuck with Harris, and people don't want Harris. How real do you think that concern is?
It's a good question. Right now, if you ask me about either of these gentlemen, I can't guarantee you that either of them is going to be around 4 years from now. They're older white males. The average lifespan of a white male is 77. Both of these guys have already lived longer than you might expect. But I will take the guy that's decent. You said it, an old guy that's decent versus a bad man. Take that guy. Take the first one. Take the first guy that's decent.
You think he'll make it 4 years?
I actually do think he'll make it 4 years, but I can't guarantee at all how he'll be in 2 years. I can't guarantee how former President Trump will be in 2 years either. Honestly, it is a roll of the dice. As you said, when we nominated old white guys, shame on the parties if that's the way you want to look at it. I mean, there's a lot of younger
I don't have a problem with old white guys. I don't have a problem with old white guys. It's just about the vitality, the ideas, the plans, the goal structure, the teams. I mean, that's why I don't like these two guys. It's not personal. Well, it is with Trump because he came after me, targeted me and my family. So we have personal beef, but I still have to be fair to the issues in the presentation, which is why I'm chasing on Biden. Do you believe he will be pushed out by the progressive wing of your party?
I don't think the president's going anywhere. He earned the nomination, and we have a process. So I don't think that they're going to push him out. I've been speaking with senators, congressmen, and of course, all of my Democratic governor colleagues. Honestly, I don't think he'll get pushed out. And I will, I'll be the first to eat those words if something changes. But the president, in the first 10 seconds of our meeting, said, I'm staying in the race. And he is stubborn. And that's one of the things I like about Joe Biden.
Did people in the meeting say you should leave? Were there people who came after him in the meeting or no?
They didn't. And I will be a little careful about what other people said, but I do want to be direct with you. Otherwise, I'm wasting everyone's time. They did not come out at him and say, leave the race. People said, what's the strategy? And how can we be sure that you're going to be able to kick butt from time to time and be energized? And he acknowledged that completely. Like I said, I straight up asked him what happened that night and what was wrong. And it was a hard and personal question, but he encourages that from we younger governors. He wants us to press him, actually. So I appreciated it. I don't think he's leaving the race. The governors were supportive, but they want to see him come out and take it to Mr. Trump, just like you do. And they want to see him call Trump out on his BS when he's attacking women or whatever the issue is.
Look, that's the job in the campaign. And if he can't do it, then you guys are going to have a problem. Governor Josh Green, you are always welcome here to make the case. I appreciate your candor. Thank you very much. Anything we can do, we're a call away.
Thank you for the early morning wake-up call.
Gov, sorry about that. You're the best. You definitely are working hard for the people of Hawaii. There's no question about it. He was up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Thank you very much. Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of News Nation's fact-driven coverage.